Dear friends of the heart, companions of the heart, greetings of peace be unto you and your families. We hope you're doing well. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening. From wherever you are joining us, may you be at peace and also with a lot of blessings in your life. And this is healing session number 206 here at Heal the Heart, Heal the Earth. And we'd like to welcome you, dear Mamu Muhammad Hassanul Kareem. Thank you for joining us all the way from the UK. And do tell us if the quality of the sound is good, and then we can proceed in just about a couple of minutes. The sound quality seems to be okay from our end, and hopefully from your end it is just as clear and audible. And so without further ado, let's get started at the top of the hour, which is only a minute away. In the meantime, please find yourself a quiet corner and with a decent amount of circulation of fresh air, which will help us breathe properly, and also a perfume or a fragrance, just to be able to heighten the sense of smell, which always helps with any meditative or prayer-based experience. So it is exactly the top of the hour now, and we'd like to get started. As always, beginning in the name of God Almighty. And by placing the palm of our right hand upon our chest near our heart, and by elevating the level of our eyes above the level of the horizon by around 45 degrees, and then keeping them there nice and steady as we allow the eyelids to gently drop down. And so this is how we begin with phase 1, which is all about breathing. Breathing in deeply and gently and slowly, and also breathing out deeply and gently and slowly. Breathing in to our heart through our nostrils, feeling the expansion of our chest as we do so, and breathing out from our heart, either through our nostrils or through our mouth, feeling the contraction of our chest as we do so. This beautiful and simple and extremely effective breathing exercise allows us to breathe our way into our heart, shifting our focus from our head to our heart. This is not a mental exercise where we think about the heart using our head. Rather, this is a feeling-based exercise. So we're breathing our way into our heart so that we may be in our heart and feel from there. And so as we continue with this breathing exercise, breathing in through our nostrils, deeply and gently and slowly, finding our own rhythm as we do so. and breathing out either through our nostrils or through our mouth, and allowing ourselves to also be anchored here in the present moment, and also have this increased level of alertness of our heart and mind. And also as we infuse this fresh supply of air by breathing in, we are energizing the cells of our body. We are oxygenating the cells of our body by breathing in this particular manner. And as we breathe out, we are releasing toxins from our body, as well as any stress, any tension. And last but not least is that we are helping to boost the immune system of our body. All of these benefits are being derived from this simple but extremely effective breathing practice. Breathing in and out, one more round before we proceed to phase 2. Feeling centered and rooted in our heart as we now proceed to phase 2 of our practice, whereupon we'd like to generate and activate a powerful and beautiful set of feelings as they are being evoked in our heart. As we feel them deeply, one by one, in our heart, each one of them, beginning with appreciation. Whatever it is that we are appreciative of in this precise moment, now let us feel care, this wonderful sensation of care in our heart. And now let us feel gratitude, this wonderful feeling of gratitude in our heart. Whatever it is that we are feeling grateful for in this precise moment, let us feel that deeply in our heart. And now let us feel compassion, this wonderful feeling of compassion. Allowing our heart to feel whatever compassion means to us right now. And now let us feel strength, this powerful feeling of strength. Whatever strength is symbolized as to us in this particular moment. And now let us feel wisdom, this wonderful feeling of wisdom. Whatever that may mean to us in this particular moment, let us feel that. Going through these feelings once more: appreciation, care, gratitude, compassion, strength, and wisdom. And so now, having felt these wonderful set of feelings, we have enabled our heart to be vibrating at an elevated level of vibration, thereby making it more potent and resilient and increased in its strength and vitality, and also in its healing capacity. As we would like to proceed to phase 3 now, whereupon we'd like to give it a particular colour, this raised vibration of our heart. And in this session we'd like to give it the soothing and powerfully healing colour of ocean blue, feeling our heart as a ball of ocean blue light. As we keep our awareness in our heart, this beautiful and soothing ball of ocean blue light expands beyond our heart and into our body, going throughout our body, healing every cell, every organ, every part of our body. As we maintain our awareness in our heart, this ball of ocean blue light expands even beyond our body and into our room, circulating throughout our room with its healing presence, filling up every inch, every corner of our room. And as we keep our awareness in our heart, this ball becomes even larger, going beyond our room and into the other rooms of our house or apartment, wherever we are at the moment. That dwelling is being completely covered by the soothing, healing ball of ocean blue light. As we remain attentive in our heart, this ball of ocean blue light now goes even further into the rest of our building, from the very top floor all the way down to the very bottom, from the right side of the building all the way to the left side of the building, completely encapsulating it by its healing presence, with its healing presence, radiating throughout and even expanding now beyond the building and into the neighborhood as we keep our attentiveness in our heart, our energy, our presence in our heart. And if we find ourselves drifting away, that's absolutely fine. We can always bring ourselves back into the present moment and back into our heart, using the power of our breath, breathing in and out once or twice, so that we may return to the present, return to our heart. As we continue to feel our heart and be present in our heart, this ball of ocean blue light spreads all throughout our entire neighborhood, filling up every street, every corner, every building within our neighborhood, allowing our neighborhood to bask in this beautiful presence of this ocean blue light. As it continues to grow even beyond our neighborhood, going into the other neighborhoods across our city, all throughout, sweeping across the entire area of our city with its soothing and powerfully healing presence. As we keep our attention, our awareness in our heart, reminding ourselves that this is a heart-based practice. It is all about being aware in the heart and feeling from the heart, as this beautiful ball of ocean blue light, which is in essence our heart's electromagnetic field, or the EMF, continues to expand even further, as it is so excellent at doing so. And we are merely facilitating for this to happen here in this phase of the meditation, as we are consciously feeling our heart, allowing this field of the heart to expand, this field that is being represented by this ball of ocean blue light, as it continues to grow in size and volume and radius, and thereby in its ability to heal, this healing capacity that it has, it's increasing even beyond, and also its strength and vitality is increasing with the size as it continues to expand even further, going beyond our city and into the other cities across our country. And all of the villages within our country are now being engulfed in this beautiful ball of ocean blue light as it continues to grow even further, going into the other countries across our continent and even beyond, as it sweeps across the entire horizon, far beyond what our eyes can see, far beyond the limited confines of the physical heart, which of course is within the chest of our body, and yet the field, this electromagnetic field that is being emitted by the heart, can go so far beyond, covering the entire surface of the earth and then going up to the level of the atmosphere of the earth. And there it finds all the other balls of ocean blue light that have emanated from the hearts that are present. And indeed, those of us who are watching this as a recorded session can also feel the collective presence of hearts, as all of our individual balls of ocean blue light are now mixing and merging and mingling with each other, forming one beautiful and gigantic ball of ocean blue light. As we keep our awareness in our heart, we are truly witnessing and enjoying this expansive state of our heart, feeling this oneness that we are actually in the midst of, this oneness of the hearts that we are with, and also oneness with the planet itself. What started from the heart is now a collective heart space, holding firmly within it the entire earth space. From one home that is our heart to the other home that is our planet, as we are in sync with each other and in sync with the entire planet. And from this expansive state, from this beautiful moment and the sacred space that we are sharing, this synchronicity that we are experiencing, we are going to begin our heartful prayer from this expansive state. And of course, before we do that, let us breathe in and out once or twice, just to be able to take in all of this grandness, the grand experience that we are having of being in unison, in synchronicity with all the present hearts, and indeed the planet itself. And if at any stage in the prayer any one of us needs to leave the session, we may do so by saying Ameen in our heart 3 times. But of course we'd like all of you to stay here with us until the very end. Dear Lord, our God, one and only, most gracious and most merciful, we praise you and we glorify you, as you ought to be praised and as you ought to be glorified. Indeed, all praise and thanks belong to you. And you are the Lord of the universe, creator of time and space, fashioner of all there is, as you are the pre-existing one, the eternal one, the first and the last, the inner and the outer, the hidden and the apparent, most powerful and yet most gentle and loving and kind. Indeed, dear Lord, you are worthy of all of these qualities that you have attributed yourself with, and even more, because you alone are aware of the full extent of your glory and splendour. We know but a glimpse of them. We have the ability to feel and witness only a glimpse of these qualities. Nonetheless, we praise you and we call you by these names, these qualities that you have adorned yourself with, that you have beautified yourself with. And so you are indeed the source of all peace and security and prosperity, as you are peace yourself. And you are also the source of all light, as you are light yourself. You are the opener, the expander, the enricher, the purifier of our hearts, the possessor, the king of our hearts, as you are also the pardoner of our hearts, the forgiver of all of our sins and transgressions. And we ask you, dear Lord, as we have gone through the phase of our meditation whereupon we have actively elevated the level of our heart, and thereby we let go of all the low-level consciousness feelings such as hatred and resentment and anger and envy and the like. And so as we have done so, we have consciously forgiven those who may have hurt us in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, intentionally and unintentionally. And so, as we have forgiven them, surely, dear Lord, we can expect forgiveness from you. Because you are the most forgiving, far more forgiving than we are. And so if we can manage to forgive others, surely you can manage to forgive us. In spite of our monumental amount of transgressions and sins, as you have promised us that you love to forgive those who turn to you with a sincere and repentant heart. And this is what we are trying to do here in this journey of the heart, in each of these sessions, as we turn to you with a repentant and a remorseful heart, asking for forgiveness, not only for our own selves, but also for our loved ones, for our forefathers who have gone back to you, and also indeed for all of humanity, as we are all in deep need of some lasting healing and purification and forgiveness. So we ask you, please purify the planet, purify all of the people on the planet, and let us be free from the clutches of this pandemic, of this virus, this unknown enemy, which we are only beginning to comprehend, beginning to understand, and perhaps on the verge of coming out with a vaccine which can take care of it. But in the meantime, we ask you, allow the virus to lose its grip upon humanity. Let it lose its effectiveness with every passing moment, dear Lord. Please let it become powerless, ineffective, unable to bring upon harm to humanity, as it has already brought about a lot of harm. And we have lost so many people that we know of, so many good men and women, those who have passed away, particularly in line of duty, serving their patients, these doctors and nurses and physicians and all of the people involved in the healthcare industries across the globe. And some of them were fortunate enough and blessed enough to be able to recover from their corona, whilst others have lost their lives. And we ask you, dear Lord, accept them into your eternal abode as martyrs. Accept them through the gate, through the door of martyrdom. And for the ones who are still alive, we ask you, please, allow them to be healed completely. And all the patients as well, allow them to be healed and recovered completely before they return to their loved ones, fully safe, free of any risk of contraction, of passing that virus to others. And please, dear Lord, do not let any more people die. We have lost too many lives already, and these deaths have not come easy. And mostly because we haven't been able to mourn the deaths of these people that we know, and even the ones we don't know who have died nonetheless across different parts of the world because of this virus, or even the ones who have passed away during the time of this pandemic for some other illness. They have been neglected in many cases, left, in the morgues for days on end until someone was able to bury them, and usually it is a random stranger, not a family member. And what a sad way to pass away. What a sad way to die and not have the opportunity to be mourned over, to be prayed over, and really to experience this separation, as their loved ones are too scared, too worried about their own safety, and in some cases they haven't even been allowed to attend the funerals of their loved ones who have passed away during the last few months. And so we ask you, please allow each of us to have an extended lifespan so that we may pass away at a more convenient time, at a time when we are dead and buried, people, our loved ones, our well-wishers, our friends, can actually come and attend the funeral and pray over us. And indeed, that is the kind of death we are accustomed to, as it is the tradition across all of the various religions and cultures across the planet, that whoever dies needs to be mourned for, and needs to be prayed over, and needs to have a proper funeral. And so many of these people, dear Lord, have been deprived of this basic right. And it was so sad to see them off in this manner. People we know, people we have heard of, and the like. And so we ask you, dear Lord, please purify the planet and all of its inhabitants. And the people, names that we usually mention in our healing sessions: Khurshidara Begum Shelley, Tanveer Ahmed Shanto, Naira Nawar Ahmed, Ismat Qadir Jama, Mustafa Jabid, Qazi Alamgir Sattar, and Rinal Kanti Dokto, and Wali Rahman, Omar Farooq, Sanjida Akhtar, Fabiha Farzeen, Muhammad Zahirul Islam, Mustafa Jalal Muhyuddin, and Richard Kishore, and Mir Bilayat Hussain, Bilqis Khanum, Laila Khan, and Hassan Tanzeen, Shireen Rahman, Shahzeb Hassan, Rashida Khanum, Rihana Ali, Shahana Khalid, Adiba Khalid, Tahmina Khalid, and Ishrat Islam Ifa, Sarwari Akhtar Chaudhry, Sara Sarwar, Nasreen Alam, Faizan Nahar Haq, and Abul Hashim Rana, and Shaila Nusrat, Mahfouza Akhtar, Kabiruddin Ahmed, Shahnaz Salam, Rehnuma Tarannum, Mubashira Taslim Ahmed, and Zubayd Ahmed, Humaira Haseen, Shah Majida Khatoon, Shah Abu Asad Muhammad Mutahir, Unaima Begum, Shah Musammed Tasmiya, and Dipon, and Sayyida Ifat Ara, Sayyid Ashfaq Hussain, Anwar Siddiqui, Salima Imrose, and Ripon and Shahidul, and Samina Abedin, Qamrul Islam, and Tipsy, and Muhammad Harun al-Rashid. All of these people, dear Lord, and their respective families, and all of the people who are present in this live session and their respective family, and all of the people who are watching this as a recorded session and their respective family. Whatever it is that they are seeking from you, dear Lord, whatever it is, be it physical healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing, healing of relationships, financial healing, and indeed any deep desire or want or need, any desperation that they may be asking for, and or asking for to be rid of any desperation or indeed any aspiration. Please fulfill them all in the swiftest of manners. For you it is So easy and instantaneous. All you have to do is utter that magical word, be, and so it becomes. And so we ask you, please utter that word so that it may become a reality in our lives. All of these healings and needs and wants that we are asking for from you. O you who are the fulfiller of all of our needs. O you who are the healer, the ultimate healer, the only healer. We ask of all of these things only from you, because you are so able, you are so powerful, and you are so giving, and you are so forgiving. And allow us to be blessed to have these healings, to have these needs and wants met, and in such a way that we may become grateful in our hearts as a result. So as we receive them, we become more grateful and ready to receive even more blessings, as you have said so yourself, that you love grateful hearts, because you give them more than what they can possibly imagine. And this is such an interesting and such an exciting cycle, the cycle that feeds onto itself, and we want to be in that cycle, not in an opposite cycle which is vicious and downward spiraling. We want to be in a cycle of gratitude which feeds onto itself in an upward spiraling manner. So as we are grateful to you for all of the things that we can be, feeling them one by one, counting our blessings, you give us more. And as we receive more, we have more of a reason to be grateful to you. And then you give us even more. And so this cycle continues in an upward spiraling direction, always making us better, always allowing us to grow and evolve in a way that we are supposed to. As this is a journey, this is an evolution, this journey that we call human life. And indeed, we are so grateful to you for allowing us to have this experience of being human, growing and learning and evolving and experiencing so many things in our lives, and now experiencing the grandeur of heart, grandeur of our heart, each one of our hearts, as each one of our hearts is your divine receptacle, is your portal through which you not only communicate but also you send forth all kinds of blessings. And so we are deeply, deeply grateful for being allowed to be here on this beautiful gathering of hearts, whereupon we have allowed ourselves to be receptive enough to open our hearts so that we may receive each of your qualities one by one, receive all of your blessings, your divine and soothing and healing light, and your noble and powerful presence, and your gentle presence to shine forth in our hearts as we seek to purify our hearts so that it may be like a polished mirror, able to reflect all of your divine qualities, all of your beauties, in a perfect manner, in a symmetrical fashion, so that we may become a worthy ambassador of you as we reflect these qualities of you in our very hearts, in our very beings. And so today we'd like to explore and feel this wonderful quality of yours. Al-Aliyy, Al-Aliyy, Al-Aliyy. And take this opportunity as we call upon you by this name, Ya Aliyy, Ya Aliyy, Ya Aliyy. Opening ourselves up to you, dear Lord, opening our hearts, becoming more receptive in our hearts, ready to receive the relevant channel, relevant healing energy associated with this particular name, this particular quality of yours. We wish to be guided to this pathway, taking the opportunity to feel ourselves at the peak of everything, including letting any thought of our own selves disappear. And indeed, life is full of experiences. Some experiences are of the peak and others are of the trough, as it is a journey of ups and downs. And today, in this session, this name, this quality of yours is all about the peak, not about the trough. And indeed, life has given us so many wonderful moments when we feel that we have achieved so much. And it is like climbing a mountain, which we have, or perhaps climbing a hill, if not a mountain. And when we scale that mountain or scale that hill and reach to the top, looking out for miles high above the world, it may give us an idea of this name. Ya Aliyy, Ya Aliyy, Ya Aliyy. O you who are so high, O you who are so great and magnanimous and exalted and grand. And so as we feel this name of yours, dear Lord, we also feel this experience of scaling the mountain or scaling the hill. And when we are at the top, when we have reached the top, we get a very special kind of feeling. We have a sense of achievement, a thrill at being so high, and are filled with wonder at the splendor of nature. But then at that time there is also something else too. There is a sense of awesome silence. And there is only the sound of the wind. And if we are there with friends, we often feel that we don't want to really say anything. Words don't seem appropriate, and we just want to look and take it all in. And indeed, when we think of you, dear Lord, the highest, the most high, O you who are the exalted one, the grand one, the majestic one, we might get that same feeling, a sense of awe that makes us silent. As the Holy Quran, the final revelation of yours, dear Lord, says it so clearly, all things in heaven and on earth belong to the One. And the One is the highest, the tremendous. As indeed you are high. And in the ritual prayer, of course, when we are in that state of prostration, during our ritual prayers, when we are in that state of prostration, we are at our lowest with our foreheads to the ground. And we have consciously at that stage made ourselves small and brought ourselves down to earth in a position of humility. And in this lowly position we say the magical words, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, which of course means glory be to my Lord, the Most High. Glory be to my Lord, the Most High. Glory be to my Lord, the Most High. And so when we use this word Al-A'la, which is a derivation of this particular name of yours, Ya Aliyy, which also means the Most High, when we say these words with our foreheads touching the earth, we become aware of our lowliness in comparison to your great highness, dear Lord. And as we prostrate, we might even linger a little while and remember the silent mountain peaks high above the rest of the world. And so we have that sense of the great height and holy silence of you, dear Lord. And so the name of this particular quality of yours can be translated as the Most High, the Most Grand, the Most Exalted, but also there is this underlying meaning, this layer of meaning of silence. As when we are in that state of prostration, calling you by this name, we find that silence so nourishing, so energizing, as we are submitting ourselves in this very, very vivid expression of submission by putting ourselves in that state of prostration. And so, dear Lord, when we call you by this name, allow us to remember how insignificant we are truly in our heart compared to your might, compared to your grandness, compared to your exalted state. We are nothing. And dear Lord, even more importantly, when we achieve something great in our lives, there is this tendency for us to feel arrogant. There is this tendency for us to feel self-sufficient. There is this tendency for us to feel self-subsistent. And we don't want to feel that. Rather, like that beautiful example of your beloved Prophet Muhammad, when he returned to Mecca with his thousands of companions, victorious, entering into that holy city that once threw him out. When he returned back to it, victorious, what did he do? Peace and blessings be upon him. He was most humble, even though it was such a great victory that he was able to march in with his companions through all points of entry into the city of Mecca. He chose to be humble, and he was so humble that he bowed down, even though he was on his camel. He bowed down so much that his head touched the hump of his camel in utter humility, even though he was the victorious one. And as we have seen in episodes of history, all throughout human history, whenever a general, whenever a statesman, whenever a ruler or even a tyrant marches into a land, conquering it, having conquered it, he always puts his chest wide open and his head held high, because he feels great. He feels he has achieved this victory, and therefore he has every right to feel so elevated and so high. And yet the best of creation, the best of mankind, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, on that glorious day when he conquered Mecca, his birth city, the holy city of Mecca, after many years of trials and tribulations, when he returned and he conquered it with utter humility. Utter humility. And so we ask you, dear Lord, whenever you do give us blessings, whenever you do give us achievements that we can be proud of, we want to consciously remember you by calling you by this name, Ya Aliyy, Ya Aliyy, Ya Aliyy. O you who are the Most High, O you who are the greatest, the most exalted, and allow us to remember you by being as humble as we can, and possibly in a state of prostration, if that is possible. So that would be an acknowledgement of our thanks, and also an acknowledgement of our humility, of our lowliness in comparison to your extremely exalted stature. And so let us feel this name of the Divine, Ya Aliyy, Ya Aliyy, Ya Aliyy, in silence for the next few seconds in our heart, feeling it flow in with our breath and flow out with our breath. and realizing how humble we ought to be, because God Almighty is the one Most High. Ya Aliyy, Ya Aliyy, Ya Aliyy. Ya Aliyy, Ya Aliyy, Ya Aliyy. O you who are most high, most exalted, we thank you for everything that you have given us. And we ask you, keep us on this perpetual path of gratitude, and keep us on this continual path of humility of our hearts, and also allow our hearts to be purified over and over and over again with your divine, soothing and powerful light, with your noble and powerful and gentle presence. These are the cries of our hearts. These are the prayers that we have petitioned to you here in this session. Please accept them, as you are the all-knowing, the all-hearing, and the answerer of all prayers. And, of course, we'd like to take this opportunity to send our greetings of peace and blessings upon all of the prophets and messengers that you have sent, beginning with the very first of them, Prophet Adam, all the way down to the very last of them, Prophet Muhammad. Countless peace and blessings be upon them all. Countless peace and blessings be upon them all. Countless peace and blessings be upon them all. And also upon the beloved and blessed family of Prophet Muhammad, and upon the beloved companions of Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon them as well. And also upon all of the saints and sages that you have sent across the ages, as you continue to send them here, as they offer their teachings of divine light, divine love, divine unity, and divine wisdom, which are in essence, in reality, a continuation of the teachings of your beloved prophets and messengers. As we wish to love them all and be in deep connection with them all, as they are your lovers, and so we want to love them, so that we may in return receive love from you, as you love them so much, and we want to love them and feel them and their wonderful sacrifices and their nobilities and their virtues. As we remember them and recall them and respect them deeply, we love them and their actions and their beliefs and what they stood for and their values. And indeed, these feelings that we feel in phase 2 of our meditation, they are the best of exemplars of these feelings, embodying them all throughout their lives. They were the best of people who were, in terms of appreciation, they were the best of them, in terms of gratitude, in terms of care and compassion and strength and wisdom. And so we want to exemplify them, be like them, so that we may also be your lovers in time, and also your devotees and your faithful, loving servants, full of deep respect and reverence for you and adoration for you, dear Lord. You are worthy of all respect, all love and adoration. And we thank you for accepting our prayers, for listening into our prayers and accepting them as you are the best of listeners, as you are the best of answerers of prayers. We thank you again and again and again, dear Lord. Thank you, thank you, thank you. and with a sense of relief in our hearts, with this deep sense of certainty in our hearts, knowing very well that God Almighty has just listened to our hearts and accepted our prayers. Let us all say 3 times in our heart, Ameen, Ameen, Ameen. And when we are ready, we may open our eyes gently and remove the palm from our chest, but maintain our awareness in our heart, looking around with a sense of amazement, a sense of wonder, and realizing that out of many things that we could have possibly realized, that indeed we mustn't take life for granted. Every day is a gift, every day is a blessing. And this journey of the heart is making us even more aware, thankfully, as we feel gratitude in our heart, as we feel contentment in our heart, because the more grateful we are, the more content we are. And of course, having this sense of wonder about life, appreciating everything, with this fresh perspective of life, with this sense of curiosity, you can say, just observing things sometimes without any judgment. And this is why we ought to appreciate and love the way children look at life, isn't it? Sometimes they have this wonderful nature, not sometimes, in fact, always, they have this wonderful nature within them to be curious, to have this sense of wonder, and they don't even have the understanding of fear in general. They're not afraid to try out something, to experiment, to look at something. And this is sometimes such a necessary quality that even adults can possibly have. Just allows us to feel life as it ought to be felt, rather than becoming so mechanistic in the way we do things, and feel as though it's just the same old routine. In fact, nothing could be further from the truth. Sure, we have ritual prayers and so on, but even the ritual prayers can have fresh, new insights, each one of them. And we can feel them so differently, even though it is the same prayer that we would have prayed in the previous days. But nonetheless, each one is being conducted at a different time, at a different moment. And so with each passing moment, we are feeling different. And herein lies the beauty of breath, the power of breath, breathing, feeling conscious whenever we are doing something that is worthwhile, feeling conscious of the activities that we do in general, whether it is prayer or meditation or anything else for that matter. And so we are deeply grateful for you for turning up yet again, joining us in this incredible journey of the heart. Zubaydah Ahmed, thank you. We hope the little one is doing well. She's getting used to life in the UK. And Tanjil Ahsan Chaudhry, dear brother, thank you for tuning with us. Greetings of peace to you as well. And of course, Muhammad Hassan al-Kareem from Mansfield. I believe you are already in Mansfield, safe and sound. You would have travelled from Manchester to Mansfield. And anyone else who's watching this as a recorded session, greetings of peace to you and your lovely family. Apologies for the phone, it's just beeping too much today. Sometimes it feels like it has a mind of its own, even though it's kind of turned off, still making some unnecessary sound, so apologies for that. So if there are no comments or questions or insightful experiences that you would like to share, we can close out the session. Please remember to share anything you think is worthy of sharing here in this group, in the form of a video, perhaps a video of yourself talking about your experiences of the journey of the heart, or a post that is related to the theme of our group, or indeed anything else for that matter. And don't forget to share the link of this group with your loved ones, with people you know who may or may not. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they will like, maybe they can surprise us. After all, they can come in and try it out. If they don't like it, they're free to leave the group. That's okay. But at least they would have given it a shot. and seen it for themselves and felt it for themselves, assuming they would have done at least one meditation and prayer with us. So please pass the good word. We still have many more days ahead of us, God willing, as we want to continue upon this journey of exploring and feeling each of the names of the Divine, each of the 99 known names. Of course, there are many other names, but we will concentrate on these 99 names for now. And then we'll see where that takes us in the next phase of our journey. So excited to be here with you as always, thrilled and honored to be here with you always. And we hope to see you very, very soon in one of our forthcoming sessions. God bless you and greetings of peace. Bye for now.